Good afternoon. My name is Benjamin Mullen, and today I'll be talking about globalization and workforce development and kind of the impact that globalization has had on workforce development. And then I'll conclude with the different portions of the workforce development program and how these can interact with each other to provide the maximum benefits for both our local and national and international workforce markets. First, I'd like to define what exactly is workforce development. And the best definition that I have found has been from Gatta McCabe, and they describe it as a broad range of employment and training services whose purpose is to enable job seekers, students, and employers to access a wide range of information about jobs, the labor market, careers, education, and training organizations, financing options, skill standards, or certification requirements. And then globalization is just the international impact or influence that is being made on this workforce development. So, what exactly is the impact of globalization on workforce development? Well, one of the main things that I like to talk about is the need for lifelong learners. No longer can we have employees or associates or future job seekers that have one static skill set. They need to be able to learn and grow with the needs of the company or the entity that is hiring them. Kind of going along those similar lines as well, there needs to be a broader workforce skill portfolio. It is no longer about the hard technical skills, but more about the ability to be a problem solver or to be a creative solution giver or to be able to become automatically able to adapt to the situations that are given to you. Um, One other thing that it's also become is there's a larger demand for these skilled workers as globalization is there's more companies and entities that are seeking to get them. It's no longer just our local market or even our federal market. It has become a global race. And on those lines as well, we should not be focusing necessarily on the race. We need to focus on the need, not the competition. In our book by Feingold et al., they talk about how if we try to keep up with the amount of engineers that China was bringing into the market, certifying in the market, that we would flood our market while not being able to keep up with theirs. So we need to make sure that while this globalization is occurring, yes, we want to be competitive, but no, we do not need to match them person for person. So now we're going to look at the different pieces of a workforce development system and kind of how that has been impacted by globalization. Before we start, just a quick note on this diagram. It is designed as a pyramid on purpose and with interchangeable pieces so that, as an entity is using it, if it is more important for a certain piece to be higher, they can obviously move that up. So it is not set in cement or stone. So begin with networking and connectivity between job seekers and employers. This has been impacted greatly by globalization due to the internet and that increased connectivity that has come with it, meaning that we're now able to reach further and have people reach further to us to connect for jobs and skills and certifications, which goes down to our next step, which is the training and certification programs. These are still very, very important, but there is, again, a little bit more of a focus on the softer skill sets instead of the technical training. Going down into the left, we do have those job seekers and students. And once again, as it connects the other two, we have a much broader and deeper pool to be reaching from. But the inverse of that is that we can be reached by that broader draw as well, meaning that there is more markets and more places for job seekers to go that we can reach to more as well. So to incentivize people, we have that collaboration between government entities and private sectors. So now we do have this increased need for collaboration as we try to compete with other markets and maintain these highly skilled laborers. This also goes down to the education of primary and secondary, which is again our K through 12 program and college. This is still critical for those key and basic skills, and also giving people again the core that they need to become these highly skilled workers. This is contributed to by the local resources and support, which also does again work with globalization to draw in and incentivize those people that are outside of our market or region to come work and increase our skilled labor set. As we look down, we have the employers, both public and private sector, and how these both need to contribute and work now more than ever with each other to make sure that we are getting these skilled laborers into our market instead of letting them slip out. This is contributed to by the state and federal government levels, which again, they need to work with each other, work with our employers, local resources, collaborate, and network to make sure that we are maintaining this global reach. And last but not least, legislation to support programs and institutes. Once again, this has been greatly impacted by this globalization. On a personal note, I work in the hospitality industry, and I've seen this impact by our recruitment of international colleagues through the J1 visa program to fill highly skilled culinary positions, which otherwise would be very, very difficult to fill. And this is my breakdown on globalization and workforce development. My next slide will be works cited, which we'll just have a brief little note on. Thank you. And here is my works cited.